We have some amazing news and I cannot wait to share it with you guys. Hi friends, I'm Jen with the Budget Bounce. We're living life on a budget and fighting our way out of a mountain of stupid debt that we've accumulated. We talk about life and personal finance on this channel, walking through Dave Ramsey's baby steps. If that's something that you're interested in, please hit that subscribe button down below and make sure to hit the bell so that you'll be notified when we upload new videos, currently every Wednesday. If you're new here, welcome. I'm so glad to have you. And if you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. Today, I'm really excited to share some fantastic news with you guys. But before I get into it, I need to give you a little bit of background so you understand the importance and how awesome this news is for us. A few weeks ago, I did a video called Our Greatest Challenge. I will link a card up above so that you can click on it if you'd like, and I will also include the link in the description down below. In that video, I shared that Matt has suffered from severe anxiety and depression since last year. I'm not going to go into the details of what led to Matt's leave of absence from work because it's really not my story to tell. But I will tell you that his therapist told him that he feels that Matt has been suffering from depression for several years prior to the symptoms that manifested so severely last year. We'd been walking a financial tightrope for several years, and I had been sensing that our balance was off and about to waver and tip the wrong way in the near future. When it happened, I was terrified. Matt had become so sick. He was physically disabled due to his illness. He couldn't sleep or eat, and it was difficult for him to complete a thought, yet let alone hold a conversation. He lost about 40 pounds in the first few weeks, and I'd never seen him hurt so much. We had a lot of tears, and we were having trouble looking ahead toward more positive things in our life. It took all we had to get through each day. The last month that Matt worked was June 2017, and the last month that I paid all of our monthly debt bills was July of 2017. In August of last year, I paid about half of them, and by September, I was down to only being able to pay 3 or 4. We got through the holidays, but I was barely keeping all of the balls in the air that come with being sole provider, caring for a sick loved one, dealing with a different person in my marriage, and trying to keep everything under control with the kids, including our daughter, who was very pregnant with our first grandchild. Let me just say that I wasn't doing any of that very well. Matt was in treatment starting in July, seeing his doctor every other week and a therapist once a week. I started counseling in December, and in January, I finally lost it about our finances. Talking about the chaos of our finances with a counselor made it so real, and I could no longer avoid it. Hence, our February 1st, 2018 start of life on a budget. And then Matt started to turn the corner, but he still couldn't get back to his very high-stress job. Every time he tried, it triggered a panic attack, like an anxiety attack that was so severe it would stay for 24 to 48 hours. But Matt wanted to work, so he started applying for different jobs that were similar but with a much lower stress level. And he got one! So last week he started his new job with the state of Illinois. I know, Illinois has an atrocious reputation for corruption and poor money management, but it's where Matt and I have both lived for much of our lives, a large majority of it. That said, the first thing I asked when he started talking about interviewing for state of Illinois jobs was the stability. Are you sure this is a good idea? And he had done his research and wanted to attend a workshop. It was a free workshop that was being held. It was like 3 hours one morning to learn about the hiring process, which included testing and preference for veterans, which Matt is a veteran. So this new job is work that he is good at and enjoys without all the stress. And it pays almost $9,000 more than his previous job. I could not believe it. Neither could he. I mean, he knew the numbers before he went in, but to hear it in the job offer is a whole other ballgame. This is an amazing blessing for us in so many ways. Matt needs to go back to work for his health. He needs the sense of providing for his family. He needs to have structure in his day, and he needs something that gives him a sense of purpose. And he needs to not work on Saturdays, which he has been doing for the last 4.5 years. In addition to all of that, he's had a side gig delivering newspapers at 3 a.m. 364 days a year for the past 5 years. This new salary is enough that he gave notice at the paper, and his last date of delivery will be June 9th. This will give him more time to work on the side hustle that he's most passionate about, which is Owen's Place Inc., or we call it OPI. This is his resale business where he resells things on eBay and Amazon. My husband's a shopper, and so this actually gives him an outlet for spending while being an investment for being able to get some money back on it. So he shops at estate sales and like Goodwill and Salvation Army, and goes to yard sales and that kind of thing. And so this is a really, really great opportunity for him. He actually started it last summer, but now he'll be able to really spend some time doing that since he's not busy getting up and at 3 a.m. every day. For the first time in 11 years, he and I will have the same work schedule, and we will have weekends off together. All of these things mean that we can spend more time together, focusing on our health and spending times with our kids and granddaughter, and be more intentional with getting out of debt and our everyday living. I have an idea of what this will look like in our budget. Some immediate impacts include decreased gas expenses each month. Currently, he's driving 20 miles a day to do the paper route at 10 miles per gallon, and that adds up to about 60 gallons per month that we won't be using. Less wear and tear on the vehicles, which will reduce the amount of maintenance that we have to do with them, and decreased mileage means that the vehicles will last longer. Another immediate impact is that Matt will be able to start paying child support again. While this isn't an increase in expenses, we view this as very positive. Matt and I have always been committed to paying this and have never gone to court to lower the amount, even at times when he was not making nearly enough money to warrant the amount ordered. That's why the arrearage is so high, if you've ever wondered about that when you see it in my budget reports. We will also be able to pay all of our minimums on our debts starting in June. And Matt will have a lot of time off at work, giving him the reprieve that he needs to take care of his health. He'll get all those holidays that are observed by state governments. He'll have accrued time off that he can start using from the very beginning, and he has paid sick time each year that he can roll over so he can save it for when he really needs it. And of course, there's benefits. So we'll know more about the rest of the benefits in the coming weeks. But what I know now is, first of all, he will need to take the medical insurance, and that's because of a requirement with my employer's insurance. So, of course, I am the HR manager, and so I manage all the benefits. And we have a spousal requirement that says if any employees want to cover their spouse on our insurance, they must also cover the spouse over at the spouse's employer. The purpose of that is to have the spouse have their primary coverage at their own employer to keep our costs down. And so that makes them secondary on my employer's coverage, and then that keeps the claims down, which keeps expenses down. That's how that all works. It's what I do all day, every day. We've been doing this now for, I think this is 11th or 12th year. So when UPS announced it a few years back, we'd already been doing it for a while. So lots and lots of employers are doing it. Matt's prior employer did it as well. They did it a little bit differently. They said that if your spouse wasn't covered on their own insurance, that you had to pay, I think it was like an extra $150 a month or something to have them on your on that insurance with him. We also know that he can get up to 5 times his annual salary in life insurance, which is fantastic because right now the only policy that we have on Matt is the $75,000 spousal coverage that I have for him at my employer. And he has flexible spending accounts available to him, so we'll be able to utilize those to help offset the medical costs that we have. Between Matt and I, We have quite a bit each year, and the maximum that I can get at my, through the federal maximum, through my employer that we can get is not always enough. It's better now that we're done paying for Henry's braces, but still with both of us in treatment every week, it's really a good idea for us to go ahead and beef up on that, especially now that there's a carryover to next year in case, we don't use it all. So that's our big news. We could not be more excited. Matt has actually already started the job and so far is enjoying it, but he's only in training right now. But he doesn't have any concerns about the stress level or anything like that based on what he's seen so far. This is all good, and he's felt really good going to work every day this past week. So we just need to get through these next few weeks. Let's see here. By the time you guys see this, I think he will have about 2.5 weeks left to deliver papers. So we just need to get him through having to get up and do that every day and get to work at 8:30 every day. So that's what I have for you for this time. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up down below and make sure to hit that subscribe button and the bell so you'll get notifications. So I'm Jen, and I'm a wife, a stepmom, a human resources manager, and a grandma, also known as Lala. We have our 16-year-old and 21-year-old kiddos living with us, along with our daughter's fiance and our 6-month-old granddaughter. We are learning to live life on a budget using Dave Ramsey's baby steps, and we appreciate all of you being our accountability partners. So until next time.